Hello, everybody, and you are very welcome to Successful Perspectives. Successful Perspectives, of course, is when we deep dive into the topic of leadership with a member from our very selective network, Boardroom by EMIR. On this occasion, I am delighted to be joined by Dean McGrail, who is the CEO of WSP here in the Middle East. Dean, it is wonderful to have you on Successful Perspectives, and you are very welcome.
Thank you, Trevor. It's good to be here.
So, Dean, I've had the pleasure of getting to know you a little bit over the last couple of years, and I've been curious about what type of a leader you are, because it's always interesting. I meet with lots of our members and I get to know them in kind of one version of their life, right? And I often wonder what they're like within their organization. So maybe you could share with me what you see as being your central tenets of your leadership philosophy.
Yeah, I think this is it's an interesting one, and it's something that I've sort of reflected on a great deal over the years. As your career develops and you engage in reading leadership management books, you attend leadership courses, you listen to podcasts, you get flooded with information about what makes a great leader and the type of traits that you need to be the best leader that you can be. We all hear the traits around self-confidence, determination, being a visionary, having strong communication skills, to name a few. And I don't think anyone's in any doubt that those attributes are not important. But for me, the leadership philosophy, in my opinion, needs to be really true to who you are. It needs to resonate with you, and it needs to really be at the core of your belief system. Above all else, I think it needs to be quite simple. My team will often hear me say that I want you to describe a situation, a strategic idea, or a project issue in 3 to 5 bullet points. And for me, that's what I've tried to do with my leadership style and my leadership philosophy, and really distill that down into 2 words. I want to get it down to 1 word, Trevor, eventually, but at the moment it's 2, and that's that I care. How do I make that philosophy come alive for our business, and use what are 2 pretty simple and basic words to inspire our team and drive a culture in our business? Again, keeping it simple. I use it to cover everything that we do. I care about our people. I care about our clients. I care about societies in which we work. I care about the impact that we're having on the world. I always sit and care about whether we're doing a great job for our clients. And by caring, it always helps me to keep true to myself, true to our people, true to our clients, and true to the societies in which we work. I think you'd probably agree, when you care about something, it always helps you to make the right decisions. Gives you time to reflect and look back and say, was what I did in that heat of the moment the right thing or not? So for me, it's those 2 pretty simple words, Trevor. I care.
I've had a lot of these Successful Perspectives conversations, and I can safely say that's one of the best answers I've got. It's excellent. And I love the fact you started off, which is so true. We're bombarded with everybody's version of what we think we're supposed to be as a leader, when in actual fact, it has to come down to who you are as a person. Of course, you can take that information and distill it and create your own version of it. So it clearly sounds you think about your leadership philosophy quite a bit. How do you measure its success then? What does that look like for you?
So I think there's a few ways that you can do it, and there's quantitative ways and qualitative ways, and a bit like anything. So a quantitative way, we undertake surveys, Peakon surveys, to ask directly about how our people feel about the business. Are they proud to work for WSP? Do they find that the environment is psychologically safe? And we get that feedback directly from our clients, from our people. We also get feedback from our clients, and again, that's quantitative via the amount of repeat work that we win. In particular, how many projects are we winning? How does that link back to the fact that I care? I think clients want you to own their problems. You know, their problem is your problem. If they feel like you care and you're really responsible for their project and want their project to be the very best it will be, then by naturally they'll give you more work. From a qualitative perspective, visiting our people, visiting our clients, and again asking them directly face to face how they feel about the business. One quick fire way to really get a flavour of whether the people in your business care, and I'm pleased to say that all our people care, is by again visiting an office. And as soon as you walk into an office, if that office is tidy, if our branding is displayed correctly, if our projects are displayed prominently on the walls, do our people look happy? Are they engaged? They're all quick fire ways and indicators of how much our people really care about the business and what we do.
Yeah, because it's those small details say a lot. And I actually, you may not realize, but I actually scribbled something down that you said there, because this is something we're working on at the moment. And actually we have an event for the team on Friday about this. You know, we're really going down this journey of people and culture and how do we become a great place to work. And we have a long way to go. But I love that comment you made of, are you proud to work here? That's something I hadn't thought of, and I wrote it down because I think it's a good question to ask all my teammates, because it's a really good kind of indication of where your business is sitting with your team.
Agreed. And another one that we use, sorry to cut across there, Trevor, another one that we use is, would you advise someone to come and work for WSP? You know, would you be happy for someone that you know intimately to come and work for WSP? Or EMIR? Again, that's quite a good gauge of how happy or proud someone is to work for your business.
See, Dean, this is why I have these conversations. I just get free consultancy, free advice from you guys. So another question, and I'm curious about this one. Would you always have considered yourself a natural leader? You know, if I was talking to, say, Dean 20 years ago, would you have said, I'm destined to be, you know, the CEO of a large company over a large region? Where would you have sat 20 years ago? What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, it's always been an aspiration, Trevor. I've always been a people person. I've always been naturally drawn to bringing people together to achieve a common goal. Did I view that as being a natural leader per se? Probably not at the time. Looking back on my life and my career from quite an early age, I was, leading school sports teams. I led the night crew at the supermarket at my first job out of college, and I've built and led teams with WSP throughout the years. So I think from that perspective, I would say that I exhibit leadership traits and have had a natural affiliation to leadership, but I'm always striving to learn more and improve my leadership skills. So I think did I think I was a natural leader? I enjoyed it and I enjoyed leadership, but I never naturally thought that I was the finished article, nor do I now. And I've always never taken away and never will I take away the fact that I've achieved what I have achieved, and hopefully will continue to achieve what I do in future with great people around me. It's not just me that makes the business great, and my success is very much a function of the people that are around me.
And absolutely. And on that point, when you think of when you started out in your career, and you mentioned that about the people around you and the team around you being so important, what's your take on how the modern definition of leadership has shifted quite a bit over the course of, say, our careers? In terms of, there used to be, it was primarily the focus on the bottom line. And now it's very much, how do I create a culture where people can thrive, and while also having a positive impact on society? What's your take on how you've seen that and how you approach that?
Yeah, I think that positive culture and impact on society are are inextricably linked for me. A positive business culture in today's environment naturally leads to people in the business wanting to have a positive impact on society. We appreciated this when we developed our current strategic action plan, and at the front and center of that plan is our global innovation program, Future Ready. Future Ready, it challenges and aspires all of our people to advise and design projects and programs which are ready for the future as well as today. So everything that we do, we look at through 4 different trends, and those trends and lenses are climate, society, technology, and resource. And we use those to ensure that our people are constantly using their ingenuity to create an enduring legacy. Having our people constantly think about how we are impacting the societies in which we work drives a culture of innovation. It inspires our people to constantly challenge the status quo, and by proxy, I believe, creates a culture of positivity within the business, as our people know that we are having a positive impact on the world. If I go back to my first answer, if I may, the words that I was using previously and the traits that you and I have probably heard over the years around self-confidence, determination, visionary, these are all quite hard words. I think now that the softer side and the soft skills of leadership are really coming to the forefront. If I'd have probably sat here with you 20 years ago and said my leadership philosophy is I care, I'd probably been laughed off the screen. So I think from that perspective, things are very much evolved and developed. But at the core of myself and who I am, that's what it was like 20 years ago. It's just whether that would have resonated in business at the time is questionable.
No, it's certainly improved for the better in my view. One last question before we shift over and have a little bit of fun with our rapid fire round. So what's the best piece of career advice you've ever received that you'd share with maybe, or your younger self, or maybe new graduates that are coming into WSP? I'm sure that'd be curious about your thoughts on this. What's the best piece of career advice?
And again, keeping things simple, be yourself. Go back again to the first question, because that leadership philosophy drives a lot of what I'm about and who I am and how I speak to people in our business. When you go through your career and you're progressing through your career, you have different line managers, different line directors, different people that you look up to, and you get different influences. And you can see a great person do a presentation or be present in a meeting, and they act in a certain way, and they've got certain attributes, and you might question yourself. You might look and think, do I need to change who I am because I've got a lot of respect for that person, I look up to them, and I'm not them. So I think particularly when you're in your early career, that you can maybe question who you are and think that you need to change who you are. And some of those attributes that those people have will be positive and some will be negative. Taking those positive attributes and learning from them is a good thing, but don't let those attributes change who you are inside. You need to always be authentic. Another attribute that gets talked about a lot. And if you're not authentic, then how can people trust you? How can they get behind you? How can they be inspired by who you are if you're not who you are? So very simple, but just always be yourself.
Great advice. And it's easier for people to connect with, right? You always connect with someone. You know somebody that's kind of comfortable in their own skin, and it's like, as somebody in the network said to me before, it's like having a perfectly fitted jacket. You know when somebody is being themselves. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure. We really appreciate it, and thanks for being on Successful Perspectives.
Likewise, Trevor. Look forward to catching up soon. Thank you very much.
Yeah.